Welcome to round number 7 of the F3A Racekraft Euro Series tonight, live from Donington Park Racing Circuit. We are over here in a beautiful part of the world for our 661st broadcast, and I'm joined in the booth straight up tonight by Mr. Dave Roberts. Welcome, Dave. This is a beautiful little racetrack. This one we're going to see lots of racing, and they've gone for the short track as well, the racing circuit, which is, I think, the national configuration. This will be tight and nasty out there once we get the 40 of the best in, but a smallish qualifying grid here of around 15 cars in this our silver class. How are you doing tonight, first of all, and welcome to Donington?
I'm really good, Luke. How are you?
Good, thanks, mate. Yeah, looking forward to another F3A Tuesday night. And, well, what have we got? Currently 0.3 of a second covering the top 4. Not bad.
Yeah, small but quality, as always.
Yep. So, this circuit, mate, have you had a chance to visit this place in the real world?
I've raced here a couple of times.
Okay.
I raced Formula Ford here, and I raced Formula Ford 2000 here.
Well, we've got the best man in the house then to answer any questions tonight and give us a little bit of a, some tips on where the best place to overtake, the best places to get your lap done. All right, it's obviously that top of the hill blind corner can catch you out. What other aspects of this racetrack are a bit tricky?
I think probably the best passing point is turn 1, because for a lap time you will need to make a really quite wide late entry, but that leaves really open that you can shortcut and you can drive straight to the apex as an overtaker, and so almost do a block pass. So turn 1 will be a really good place for overtaking. And the run down the hill and through the old hairpin, it's not much like a hairpin, it's a 90-degree right-hander. Very, very fast, and it's don't enter it too fast, enter it slow, but you've got to go through it with power and keep a lot of cars run wide there. The next two, as you run up the hill, it's getting the car position. There's really nowhere to overtake. Pretty hard to do up the inside there, and if you do, you're probably going to have some sort of accident. Again, because it's blind, apex is out of sight, easy to run wide. Next one, same thing. So easy to run because you come up a little rise onto the big sweeping, very, very fast corner that leads onto the back straight. And again, the initial turn in apex, just blind. And you got to be very confident right on line. If you're a little offline, you can suddenly have a wheel in the dirt. So you can usually get a good run out of there. Sometimes pick them off down the main straight. Mate,
it's we're just seeing Jared Steen sliding all over the place out there. I'm presuming the track temps might be a little bit up there, looking at that car attitude. Yeah. Let's have a look. What are we? Oh no, 23. It's not too bad. He's definitely sliding the car around. Maybe it might be the speedway. He's a bit of a speedway driver. That might be the speedway action coming out here.
It's a bit of the nature of the circuit too. They're quite high-speed corners, and yet there's you got quite a lot of corner to make, but they're high speed, so the thing can tend to get a little bit of a sideways up.
Yep.
This old hairpin coming up here now, so...
the turn was pretty tight.
Yeah. And if you remember the Billy Munger accident in F4 where he lost his leg, that was right here where we are now. Yeah. Where a car in front moved out of the way and he ran straight in the back of the car in front. This is the blind one. See, he's completely missed the apex there. Yeah. Altogether. Whoop.
And in the fence.
And there's a bit of fence.
Yeah. So qualifying's finished. We're just waiting for the last couple of drivers to finish their lap. It's a 59.4 second lap, 58 thousandths quicker than Johnson for David Gallo to provisionally be on pole here with a minute or so till we get the last times through. Jared Steen crosses the line, goes P9. That is the final time. And a big note about the gold later on tonight. Jack Marinell leads the championship after 6 rounds on 763 points ahead of Benjamin Roberts and Bailey Evans in the hunt as well. Only 18 points off second place in the championship. So that has changed around remarkably, and it's going to be tight as we head into the last part of the season.
There is a bit of opportunity there, because I did quickly get a note across to Ben after he didn't turn up last week, and he's got some business and personal issues he's got to deal with, and he might not be with us for a couple of weeks. So,
okay.
So that opens up an opportunity for all the other boys.
Sure does. So we're just waiting now for the qualifying results to be loaded through. Then we can go down to the grid for this first race tonight, 35 minutes for the silver class. And big thanks to our sponsors, of course. We'll get into that shortly as we now get a chance to go to the grid. We'll take it nice and slow. It is a Kittens racing car once again on pole position, and gee whiz, they've been consistent at putting it up the top there. And Dave Gallo is your man. Currently who will kick us off from the front row tonight with Brant Johnson next to him. Sandgroper Sim Racing, P2, only 58 thousandths of a second between them. Daniel Byrne will put it on the second row for KIPPERS Racing, alongside him Asher Henley. Then it's Daniel Gnomes out of P5 and Luke Hayden out of P6 tonight. John Baldwin will start from the fourth row of the grid in P7 alongside him, Wayne Shepherd. Then it's Jared Steen, Tanked SRT, starting from P9 alongside him, JWM Motorsports, Brad Hudson. Andrew Lachlan will start from 11th with Julian George, starting out of P12 tonight. Further back down the order, in what is a smallish grid, 13th on the grid, Ben Johansson, and 13th with Johnny Lee. 14th, Lucas Bird at the back of the grid tonight in 15th place. And of course, Lockie Capel in the safety car. Will he be needed tonight? We'll find out shortly, as we just head down now and see the final few cars gridding up. So still got a little bit of time here, and still plenty of drivers sitting back in the sheds. Tonight's code word, if you're interested in joining the VRS competition, is KIPPERS, KIPPERS. Go and click on that link in the description of the video. Get your entry in, because it's a fantastic prize to win. $99 package from VRS, and we'll be drawing that on the last round of this series. Also, big thanks to our title sponsor, of course, Racecraft Simulations. You saw a video of that rig at the start. We'll show that again throughout the broadcast tonight. Lovely stickers, fantastic to have. Well, lovely to have them on board. Thank you again, lovely stickers.
I think we better watch all these kitten cars and those KIPPERS.
Well, that's a good one. I like that. They're hungry. They're hungry for results, this kitten racing team. They'll be purring along very nicely tonight. So we just wait. A couple of drivers getting a little impatient there. You can hear the revs rising. A couple of limiter bangings happening, and still waiting on Brant Johnson. He's not on there yet, and Brad Hudson taking their time to get out to the grid. Once again, we've got access to a few different drivers' race cameras tonight. We'll get those loaded up shortly and see who we've got for this evening's racing. But it's this moment, this little wait, this pause, the nervous energy rising, and who's going to be good enough to come out the other end and be on top. That's the key. And Gallo, well, how many times has he had to start this car from up near the front? How many times has he gone on to take out a win? We'll find out if he can do it tonight. Still waiting on one other driver. We've got the top 10 all on the grid now. In fact, everyone is gridded up, ready to go. At any second now, we're going to hear starters' orders. We'll get... There it is. So 3-second countdown. The revs will rise. Let's get set to go racing here from Donington for round number 7 of the F3A Racekraft Euro Series. And... a long hole, we get away slow off the front row. The second row was quick. It was a Daniel Byrne with a fantastic start already, going for a gap up the middle. Backs out of it, thinks better of it. Watch out for Asher Henley, also piercing his way down the inside as well. We've got a spinner, we've got two spinners. A couple of cars have gone off. There's a huge accident back in the pack as Daniel Gnomes goes over, and oh boy, small grid to start with. We've got about 6 or 7 cars involved in a huge accident down at turn 1. Wow.
They're all going in, so we shouldn't have, with the luck, we shouldn't have a safety car.
Anyone limping home?
Couple of cars limping home there, and was that safety car balls and flags? I did hear.
No? I haven't heard anything.
Right.
So I think what started there was Brant Johnson went down the outside, and when he turned in, he just had no grip and just slid wide onto the grass, and I think 2 or 3 followed. So it looked like the grip available in turn 1 wasn't what anybody thought it was.
We'll have a quick look at a replay whilst things settle down slightly, but this is the start. Got away pretty well. Look at the start from Byrne on the second row. Then, as you said, Johnson, the back end of the car goes around, and someone else went around out of sympathy. He goes around down the outside. Around they go, and then it's oh, look at the green and black car barrel rolling. Huge.
I think it was Asher Hanley on the inside. I think he spun the car in the middle of the pack there.
So we'll come back to that. Plenty of cars in the pit lane. Still 33.5 minutes to go, so a long way to get through this race, and the top 7-9 seconds the gap, and David Gallo will be absolutely wrapped that he's been able to sneak away with no incident, and he's got his teammate now behind him, Daniel Byrne. So the top 2 Kittens cars have got a 3-second buffer back to this man, John Baldwin, and Hanley's off again, I think. Yeah, he's out of control, and has he got broken suspension? Car's wobbling around, so not a good start for Asher.
No, I think what will be interesting here is I think Brad Johnson managed to get away with that pretty cleanly in turn 1, although he ran wide and he's 20 seconds behind. I don't think he was carrying a lot of damage from what I could see. If that's the case, it'll be interesting to see how he can come back through the field, because he was second quickest in qualifying.
A couple of our drivers there just concentrating, getting into it. You can see Jürgen, who's look at the face of concentration on him. He's obviously working on his qualifying, isn't he, for gold? So those drivers all standing by ready for the gold race. But these two teammates, how hard are they going to fight tonight, Dave? Do you think they're going to have a go?
I think they're going to have a go. I hope they're going to have a go.
I hope so too. We're on board with Daniel Byrne. Talk us through. Well, we're just heading down towards the pit straight now, so let's maybe stay on board here. He's just backing out of the throttle there, saving some fuel. Tricky little chicane, right, left.
Big sausage curves on the inside you don't want to touch.
Talk us through a lap. We'll stay on board here with Daniel.
So
and
down here, you're looking at braking somewhere around about the pit exit, so you use a bit of the pit exit on the way in, see the late entry, pick up the curb. You're going to use all the road out to the outside, try and get as fast a run as you can, because it's all downhill, high speed. Sit in the toe, sweep through here. Now early brakes, and then on the power, so you can carry speed through that's old hairpin, up under the bridge, up through to, I can't remember the corner names, but up here we go, left, and this is the blind right. We can't really see the apex. You've got to be on that curve. He's got a really nice line through there, and this is the second blind apex. You can't see the apex you're turning into. There it is. And perfectly on line here, Daniel Byrne was, and he's gained a little bit of time on the car in front. He's sitting in the toe down here, and it's all about not making a mess of this little section rather than getting it particularly right. Stay off those sausage curves, because you touch one, you're in that blue fence over there on the right. Yeah,
great call through there. It's a quick lap, isn't it, too? Sub 1 minute lap of 59.85 there for Daniel Byrne in the toe of his teammate. So yeah, looking quick and racy. They've got some lap cars up the road as well. Baldwin in P3. He's dropping back. He's just about almost a second off the pace of these top two. So they're in a class of their own right now, and a second over a 59-second lap is a lot.
It's about for these guys, about putting some pressure on and trying to draw that mistake out of each other. So either put the pressure on by drawing away and making the guy in second actually drive beyond his abilities trying to hang on to you, or if you're in second, just get in his mirrors, give him a look now, so he's thinking, God, where is he? Is he coming down the inside? Is he coming? Oh, I missed the brake marker. I'm off the road. Yeah, that's the sort of mistake that Daniel will be trying to draw out of David Gallo in front.
Yeah, this is a battle further back. This is Wayne Shepherd. Julian George just about to have a go, I think. Julian George getting a run down towards the chicane. Should get this done. No.
No. It's, he got a good run out of that last corner, the big sweeping right. So,
I've got to say, it looks like iRacing have fixed the mirror bug. We've got mirrors back again on the cars, which is fantastic.
Yes, we do have mirrors back again, don't we?
They were black for weeks and months and weeks, and anyway, they're back now, which is great. Well done, iRacing.
So again, you see here, they're all trying to stay neat, tidy, clean, because the mistake costs you so much.
So this is Ash Henley, sorry, Dave, just sitting back in 7th place. Yeah, and 13.5, nearly 14 seconds off the pace. Beautiful looking race car. Then Brad Hudson further back again, one of the JWM cars, running in 8th place. Yeah. Then Brad Johnson, who we saw started right near the front of the grid. Now he sits back in 9th place.
Yeah, he's not sort of really come charging up through the field like I thought he might be able to do, but then again, the field's so close. It's really tenths of seconds, so it's really the outcome's determined by who makes the least mistakes. And as we're getting later into the series, people are becoming smarter about the way they drive and understand the car better and pacing themselves better, and there's less mistakes happening. Apart from the first turn, there's less mistakes happening.
Love the way Brant leans into the corners here. It's good to see.
Comes out of my school of racing. I do that. I'm like the passenger in the sidecar. I'm hopeless.
Yeah, Yeah, it's so good. Look at him leaning in now and
I
feeling every corner, and it's great.
need a harness to keep me in the seat. You know, otherwise I've got my elbows on the floor. Like a MotoGP rider.
That's very good. So, lap 8, 27.5 minutes to go. We might go back and have another look at Asher Hanley at the start. This is the replay of the incident right at the start.
But Asher Hanley is car 31.
Car 31, yep.
Down the inside, and he's just lost it. But he's lost it right in the middle of the road where everybody else is online, unfortunately.
I'm trying to pick up which car went flying through the air. It was, it may have been, was it Luke? No, it was...
Car 6, I think it was. The green and black
Here it
car.
is, so we'll just have a look at this.
You see, I think there he goes.
A big spectacular roll over that one.
Yep. Luckily, it doesn't cost too much money in iRacing.
In the virtual world, yeah, you get away with that one.
In the real world, they cost there's $100 grand there.
Not to mention the pain in your back and every other muscle for the next month.
And your wallet for the rest of your life.
Yeah. So Dave Gallo leads this one. He's galloping down here in front of Byrne and Baldwin. Just can't keep up. Like I said, 8.8 seconds is the gap back to P3. So, oh, Hudson off. No, he's all right. But yeah, so I wonder if these guys are just going to sit, tow each other around, and whether or not Daniel Byrne is up for the challenge tonight. Fastest lap time for him at the moment is a 59.85, which is the 10th quicker than his teammate in front, but you do get a little bit of advantage at the toe being behind.
I don't think there's much in it. I think these guys are pretty much on the same pace, and there's no point in fighting each other. They're just going to sit with each other, and then come the last couple of laps, hopefully they'll have a good to go.
And that is the number 6 in the background.
Is, car 6 in the background is actually hauling them in at the moment.
So he'll be upset that he obviously had that incident at the start, because it shows he's got quite a bit of pace in the car.
Yeah, so I'm just going to look. Daniel Byrne's last lap was a 1 minute point 2. David Gallo was a 1 minute point 3. And Luke Hayden was at 59.9. So yes, he is quicker than them, and he's hauling them in. He's going to look to unlap himself.
There you go, which will be good if he can unlap himself and then get a safety car in the next 25 minutes, put himself back in with a chance.
Yeah, that's interesting. So Luke will be disappointed that he has a nice big barrel roll in T1, because he's showing that he would have been very competitive. Where did he qualify?
He was up in the top 6, I think, so he's...
Yeah, he qualified 6th fastest on a 59.9, so he's racing at the pace he qualified at, which is pretty impressive.
Yep. Yeah, that's mega disappointment. But, you know, kudos that he stayed out there and pushes on. He hasn't just given up, so it's great.
Yeah, it's sort of been a fairly quiet race so far. We haven't had too many off tracks or anybody. They're all sort of behaving themselves.
I think
turn 1.
I think as well with the few cars we do have in silver tonight, obviously 15 in total. I always get excited for gold for that very reason. You've got 40 cars on the grid. It's just going to be absolutely mega.
Yep. Yeah, more cars, more action.
And we are coming to the pointy end of the season too. We've got Hockenheim to go, and then Alton Park, and then Spa will be the final round, around 10. So only 3 rounds to go after this one. It's the business end of the season.
Yep. So, you know, it's interesting that the level of support's not, level of interest and entries has not been quite as much as we expected. I'm not quite sure what that's related to, but yeah, we'll have a look at that and make some alterations. We've got some exciting coming. But yeah, we've still got 40 fantastic cars, super fast cars, and any one of these guys could be in there as well.
Yep.
But in that top split, so yeah, these guys are learning their craft, and then in the future, well, tonight, you know, if these guys are successful, you'll have Gallo, Burnham, Baldwin. We step up to gold for Hockenheim. So
I'm looking forward to seeing too what the race pace is between silver and gold, because you know in the 59s at the moment, as one of the Racecraft cars goes off the track. I wonder if they'll be in the 58s. You know, once we get into race pace for gold tonight.
Yeah, I always figure that's a bad name for a racing driver, isn't it? Bent. You know, you've bent it again. You've bent it. You stuck it in the fence and bent it. One of the top international F3 drivers from a couple of seasons ago was called Bent. I always laughed when he was running because he had an accident. It's all, well, Bent's done it again.
Here we go. So,
but Bent's been with us for a season or two. He's a good campaigner, always out there, presents the car beautifully, and always has a good run.
John Lee's off the track. So is Brand Johnson, and previously.
And John's got it back on the track, out of harm's way, and continues on.
So the gap's just opened up slightly now between the top two. I wonder if they're just... He was a bit sick of following that closely. The dirty air does play a part as well. Could be punishing his tyres slightly, or he just wants to give himself a bit of breathing space, but it's out to over a second now, that gap between 1 and 2.
It is very hard to drive right on the tail of the car in front. Mainly it obscures your line of sight. You know, you get caught up looking at the car, back of the car in front instead of looking at your apexes and where your exit points are and things. It's a lot harder to drive right on the tail of somebody.
Yep. I mean, I love these cars. I think I was watching some. I think it was on KO. There was a 1990. Oh, as we see Shepherd go off the track and in the fence.
Yep.
That wheel just reattaches itself.
I think that might. It reattaches.
Yeah, he's got away with that.
I wouldn't mind one of those cars that reattaches its corner when you knock it off.
It's like Christine from the Stephen King movie, rebuilds itself.
Yeah, it's obviously not pointing in the right direction. No. Neither one of the front ones are. You can see that. So.
Oh, look at the right hand down.
You should be informing race controllers, making his way back with a damaged vehicle. So
you can see the right hand down that's struggling to turn.
Because then race control will warn everybody else out there on the track that there is a car, you know, limping back to the pits. Please beware. And they'll probably tell them whereabouts on the circuit he is at the point in time.
Yep.
So, but
I was just saying before that crash that I was watching some early 90s F1 and they had a similar shape to this, you know, they were that really clean, beautiful race car. I really miss that. You know, today's modern cars so big and long and look really awkward, you know. The F1s of the 90s were just incredible little race cars.
They were beautiful race cars, and they were clean and simple and elegant. They were interesting. They all looked different. And if you look at the size of them, if you ever see there's a couple of comparisons online. You look at the size of them. They're about 2/3 the size of a current F1. The current F1 cars are just big fat pigs. I personally don't like them. I don't like that they all look alike. I don't like the way they race. There's not much about it. They all sound the same. Look at the difference in that. That's phenomenal. 1990. Look at that beautiful, beautiful little Ferrari.
Oh, that was so cool. But yeah, they changed.
You look at that now. The wheelbase is the same as from the wheel to the driver is now.
Yeah.
The whole engine bay takes up as much as the whole car used to. It's ridiculous, but a lot of it is crash protection and that sort of thing. I understand all that, but I think we've lost the plot somewhere. I love that period in the 1990s when a lot of the F1 cars, none of them had front wings because they were using aerodynamic downforce underneath the car. And I thought that was really great, and I think that's something they should have done now. They should have just no front wings, no aerodynamic device ahead of the front wheel. Because if you do that, you can't knock the wing off, you can race the car. You can't put too much rear wing on it because it unbalances the car. You limit the downforce. Just remove the front wings and we can start again. Yeah, who knows? They may,
they'll continue to evolve, I guess, and look at it. I'm just watching Jared Steen here. I just noticed he's done a couple of purple sectors. What does he cross the line on this lap to do? Still
Currently
101, I
91.
think. Still 101 is his last lap, so still not.
A 61.1. Yeah, so look, that's not slow. It's galloping along.
Yep, and Julian George still sitting in P4 as well in the Think Red racing car, and 19 seconds though off the lead. So we're not even, well, we are about halfway now in the race, and a 22nd, it's almost a pit stop, and I presume the pit stops will be pretty quick around this track.
Yeah, they should. It's pretty easy pit entry, really good pit exit. It shouldn't take them too long in pit lane. It's not a long pit lane by any means.
It's an awkward pit exit because it spits you right out on the turn-in point, doesn't it?
Yeah, it does.
Turn one.
But you are well out wide, and you've got plenty of time. If you're on the road, you've got plenty of time to see someone's coming out of pit lane. But it's a good racetrack. It's probably not as high profile as some of them, but yeah, we had. I remember Elaine Prost winning here in the rain. Senna put on unbelievable drive here in the rain.
Yep.
Because they used to run F1 cars here.
Yes. Yep.
And I think I remember Nigel Mansell driving up Ford Mondeo and the touring cars here and doing an awesome job as well. And I think coming down this main straight here somewhere, and what was his name? The young guy in the McLaren F2 car, and he got clobbered somebody else and went off the track and over the fence. I think he clobbered a spectator, and he thought that what happened, they blamed him for the incident. I can't think of his name, but from memory, I think he copped a lot of flack from that. Alan McNish.
There you go.
He copped a lot of flack from that. It certainly hurt. It harmed his future career. But that was a big accident there. I drove Formula Ford 1600 here. I drove in a race, and I think I drove against Johnny Herbert, Bancroft, and Blundell. And those guys were super quick. If I remember right, I think I can take claim that I think I finished in front of Johnny Herbert because he finished in the fence.
Mark Blundell's someone you don't hear a lot about these days. I was always a fan of him, back in the Senna days, and
very wealthy family. I remember going there, and I turned up in my little 950cc Ford Fiesta with the team or whatever, and Mark turned up with his back in the 80s with his huge, great semi-rig, great big, like a touring car transporter, and he rolled up in his brand new Alpha GTV 6, and there was plenty of money. Oh, who's that off the road?
Lachlan going across the very awkwardly across the curbs there. So quarter of an hour to go, 15 minutes to go on the countdown. Jared Steen still sits behind in 7th, and then it's Asher Henley 8th, and Grant Johnson still sitting in 9th place. Then it's Ben Johansson in 10th for Racecraft Simulation. So the top 10 spread out to over a lap now. So in fact we've lapped everyone. The leader's lapped everyone up to Henley in P8.
I'm just reading the chat here too. Look, Sher says hello.
Hello,
Hi
Sher.
there, Sher. Great to see you, or hear you. Brant's got some followers on here going, go Brant. The meows are leading. Podium for both producer Per. Well, there we go, we've got plenty of puns in here as well. I think Stephen Fawns, I'm not sure, I think he may be in the gold race, if you're looking. BRT Benson, thank you. I am his coach. I want to see how he gets on. So there we go. We've got Stephen Fawns actually has a race coach. That's interesting.
Yeah, we'll see how he goes tonight. Oh, we just lose Julian George there for a moment.
Oh, look, here we go. Nice to meet you, Sure. How old is Rue?
Oh, he's only...
What do you reckon? I reckon he's about 90.
Getting some stutters here on connection, so hopefully everything's all good. Rue's only about, what, 21, 22?
Oh, Sure's already said, I'll say he's over 40. Sure may not be hearing Rue for a few days.
Yeah, he might be disconnecting her internet after that one.
Oh, that's cool. Yeah, there's a question there. Hey, Luke, what's Think Red for? I don't know. Let's have a look at it. Can you find that livery? Who's running the Think Red
I was just
livery?
Googling it then just to try and find Julian George. He's just coming to the pit lane. When I Googled Think Red, I came up with a stack of different things from marketing or recruitment companies to everything else. I'm trying to think if it's the recruitment.
I had a feeling it was recruitment, but I may be wrong.
That might be the one then. So have another look. Is it a black letter? Get him off the screen. He's in the pits. I'm just trying to see from the branding is.
So think red.
Think is in white and then red is in red.
Red. Yeah.
Yeah. So it's definitely. I'm sure it's just recruiting.
Yeah, it looks like. Look, I can't read the letters, but the number of letters and how much it's spread out looks like recruiting underneath.
There it is there. So that's the website. Think
Is he there somewhere?
No idea. I'm just having a look.
When you scroll down, there's a bloke in the middle.
Oh,
of all
employees.
The maybe that be.
Probably shouldn't
could
be
be him.
Probably should have a sneak peek before I
Yep.
find a job. No, that's not it. They're probably stock photographs. Stock photos. But yeah, I think that's what it is. So yeah, it's good to see some real world sponsorship on these cars, be it that they're businesses that they're involved in or what. But yeah, it's really good.
Yeah, I think we'll see more of that in the future. I mean, yeah, not that we get huge numbers of viewers, but there's certainly people involved, and I think, you know, if you put your business name on it.
Oh, that's the leader. That's the leader getting tangled up with the spinner there. So, and the leader's going to actually lose the lead here to his teammate.
That looked like Asher Hanley again.
Yeah. And has that done damage to that front wing? Because he just, you can see a little bit of damage.
Yes, it has.
Yeah.
It's got a bit of damage on there.
Front left. So he just made the slightest bit of contact with the lapped car. And, oh dear.
I don't think he's going to come under threat for second, but it certainly could make a difference that he's not going to be able to come back and take the challenge back to Burnham the lead. Because it's very much a front end circuit too. You do need good grip on the front end. It's really important around this circuit. So he's carrying quite a bit of damage there on that left front wing.
Now, he hasn't stopped yet, so he may come into the pits and get that fast repair and get back into it. Probably the best time to do it is now because he's already lost 2.5 seconds to his teammate. So lots of stutters tonight. I'm not sure if you're seeing that, but
well, I'm not seeing it on mine, Luke, so I'm okay. As it stands at the moment, it appears you're okay.
Okay, we're still live, hopefully.
Yep.
I don't know what's going on tonight. Maybe there's we've had Telstra works in the area, no phone service for days and months. It's just been crazy.
That's not good. Not good at all.
So burn your leader. Oh, now he's off the track.
He's
wow.
nicked the back of the guy who was overtaking there. He's put the back end front end of the car in the air. So now they're both probably carrying a bit of front damage. Might even put things back up again.
He's asking race control to have a look too. So just tripped over the lap car.
Yep.
Alright, copy.
Yeah, it's really important when you know you got the tail enders of the leaders coming up on you that you just hold your line, stay where you should be. So, they've both gone in the pits together here, the two kitten cars.
Here they go. So who's going to get out first? They'll take that fast repair, and it will be Byrne who gets out in front.
Yep, about the same stop time. They've both been in the kitty litter there and back out.
And importantly, they get out 40 or so seconds ahead of P3. So.
And they should have got a complete repair. So if we look at those front wings, they should be both okay and both back to racing. So now it's interesting. Now we'll see if Gallo can take it back to Byrne.
3.1 seconds to the gap between them, so it's quite a margin.
I'd love to see a good cat fight, wouldn't you?
I'm not sure what's going on now. Our pit strategy has been broken for a few weeks and they can't fix it, so sorry about that, folks. Now we can't even get rid of it, so it's all happening.
So I've got a few. The pit exits proved to be pretty good, even though it does feed you onto that line. I've just been watching a few of the pit exits on my second monitor. It's actually been really good because there's good view line. So, but seems that around the rest of the track there might be a problem.
Just do a quick refresh of the cache there on SDK. That should bring us back to being alive. So yeah, 2.9 just come down slightly. 24 seconds is now the readjusted time to P3 John Baldwin. He's had a good run tonight, up 4 spots into the top 3.
Good clean run. He's we've not seen him pop up with any incidents or off tracks. I'm just going to have a look and see if I can see John Baldwin. He's got 1 incident, so he's you know, that's a really nice clean run. He's got the least incidents of any of the current runners.
And they've all stopped now for fuel, and they can run to the end of this race. So it's good, looking good for a podium for him. He's got about a 3-second gap back to Hudson, who's in tow in the JWM car. And then Jared Steen, we spoke about probably 10 or 15 minutes ago, saying he's putting in some pretty rapid laps. He's now, you know, he's got to find about 15 or so seconds to get onto the back of Hudson and Baldwin. That's at a closing pace of about 2 seconds a lap. I'm not sure he'll do that.
Yeah, that's a pretty tough call, that. I love this view here where they sort of disappear and then they pop up over the little rise and turn in. It's quite an eye-opener in a real race car, because you know that you can't afford to go up and hit the fence, and you've got those blind apexes. It's pretty you got to be pretty committed in them.
Yep. Well, I don't know if we've got a dodgy server tonight. I'm getting more status here. Burn 2.8 seconds. Whilst we're got a quick break here, let's talk about sponsors, because this series does have some wonderful sponsors, and the contest for that VRS competition. Get involved in it.
Tonight's gone round the background.
Tonight's code word KIPPERS, KIPPERS, and get those entries in, because it's only 3 more rounds after this one. We draw the winner for that fantastic VRS prize of $99 package, and that's great. You can get some great tips for your racing to get quicker. So
yeah, if you're keen on getting involved, it's a good way to start. Get the VRS guys involved. They'll get you up to speed and get your understanding, not just how to drive the car quickly, but how to behave in traffic, how to be a good racing citizen in our environment of motorsport. Look like we've got a safety car out.
We do. So we're just trying to work out who's crashed here.
From what I saw, I thought it was the green car, number 6, which is, I thought I saw him go around in the back of Luke Hayden. I thought I saw him go around coming onto the straight in the background, so I'm not quite sure where he is now. Just going to go and see if I can find him.
Number 6, you receive a 20-second penalty for towing without approval.
So what's happened is he's
towed without approval.
He's crashed, he's stopped in the middle of the road, and he's towed without approval. So that we've got a safety car out without now. That car sitting in the middle of the road, which should still be there. So he'll cop a penalty for that. What this is going to do is close up the field. So we've got John Baldwin back in. Will come back into contention here, because he's got a couple of cars. So we'll get wave bys, and that will bring John right up onto the back of Gallo in second. So we'll have Baldwin and Gallo nose to tail.
It'll also bring Steen into it as well.
Yeah, and the lap cars will get a wave by, so they'll get their laps back. Unfortunately, the guy who was really quick out there was Luke Hayden, who's actually the cause of the safety car, which is a real pity, because Luke had the pace to take it to the leaders.
See if I can find the incident for Hayden.
Everyone on the lead lap, please stay left.
Okay, so while they're doing wave rounds, let's have a quick look at this incident. This was Luke Hayden.
Just on the exit of the second one here, I just saw him go round in the background. He's clipped that curb, gone the grass, back end of the car's gone straight to the fence.
Yeah, and then he towed quickly. It must have towed quite quickly here, does he? That's what got him a penalty for
lap traffic now and lap themselves.
Well, he's trying to make the pit lane from there. That's
that's a bit. So he didn't actually tow; he drove into the pits. But I'm not sure that's kosher.
Yeah.
I don't think if that was a real motorsport event, I don't think they'd be looking upon you too kindly. I think it was maybe a little bit of backward driving there to get in the pit lane.
Yep.
That is the end of wave rounds. Safety car can speed up to maximum 100.
All right, so 3 minutes to go. We'll get one more lap behind the safety car here by the looks of it.
And then we'll get a couple of flying laps and probably at least 2.
We're going to struggle probably to make it. We'll probably get one more lap. You know, the safety car speeding up now will get us with 3 minutes to go. There'll probably only be a minute to go at the end of this
Safety
lap.
car coming in this lap.
Yeah, the safety car needs to tramp on it.
Well, he's not.
Yeah,
So
he's got quicker, I reckon.
we're still yet to have an F3A race finish under yellow, and
Well, we do everything we can to try and not have that happen because there's nothing worse than having a whole race and then finishing under yellow.
yeah,
It's like, really?
yeah. Makey, it's not fair.
Nah. Toto.
Righto, so looking at that time, we're down to 2 minutes already. I reckon there's only going to be about 50 seconds left at the end of this lap, if we're lucky. One lap sprint here, winner takes all.
Looks like it. Looks like it. I'm not a, by the way, I'm not a card-carrying member of the Toto fan club, I can assure you.
Nah, me either.
I'm a bit disappointed with F1 this season in general. Hopefully Melbourne might spark me up, but at the moment I've been having more fun watching the WEC and IMSA.
Yep.
It's fabulous to see Ferrari come back at the WEC at Sebring and after 50 years absence stick it on pole and finish on the podium. I thought that was absolutely sensational.
Yeah, that's great.
And the whole new WEC formula with the hypercars is pretty exciting. You know, seeing BMW and Porsche and Cadillac and Ferrari and all going head to head is just excellent. And a lot of drivers involved too.
Accelerate at your discretion.
So now let's see, we've got 1:03. I think you're right. We'll probably just get the one lap in, don't you think, Luke?
Yep,
We'll get
white flag will be out.
They
So-
go right, let's see.
Let's get racing again, and Byrne is off. He's got a 0.7 of a second lead over his teammate who didn't really get onto the back of
we've got
him
a
ready to
white
go. So white flag, let's one to
Did
go.
I see a white flag? I think I saw a white flag.
Yeah, there definitely would have been a white flag. One to go. There it is.
Yep, there he is. Keep waving, baby.
So one to go here, and Byrne got the perfect getaway there. Almost 0.6 is the gap. Don't think his teammate's close enough, and Baldwin at the moment looking like he's good enough to hang on to third. Hudson may try and send one at him into the chicane.
Hudson's putting a bit of pressure on. That's where I see the most pressure. Is probably from Hudson in fourth, looking to get himself on the podium.
On board with your race leader. Only a couple of corners to go now.
Take it easy, boys. Hang on to it. I'd hate to see anyone lose their hard-earned result in the last couple of corners.
Well, Daniel Byrne is bringing it home. He's bringing home the bacon tonight. He's going to take the checker flag, and it's been a great victory for him. So
Very, very close between third and fourth.
they cross the line. Byrne wins it. Gallo second. Look at this. Look at the.
Wow.
I think it was Baldwin in the end that got the that got P3.
And Hudson's seen, look, 2.116, 2.174 and 2.191 behind the leader.
Wow.
So that's like thousandths between them. That's a fabulous finish between those three boys.
Here it was again. So check it out. We'll have a look at this run to the flag. This is for P3. So Baldwin put a bit of a stopper on there, tried to block the line coming in. He got a terrible exit out of here, so it's just that Hudson was trying to get through. Here comes Steen right at the last minute, and at the line, nothing in it between them. Look at that.
Nothing out. What a great finish. Great finish.
So
Beautifully orchestrated by Rue and his safety car.
Yeah, so good job, but Daniel Byrne, what a win. Takes another one, and that was silver run and done. We've got gold coming up shortly. Straight after this, so don't go anywhere. We'll have a quick chat shortly with the top three, and then we'll head over and jump into the news server. So I'm just starting to look up that now and get ready to log in. So
Same thing, Luke.
there's your top three sitting on the grid. Beautiful little positioning of the cars there. Well done, guys. There's a shot. I'll use more in the gold, and there's your race winner for Kittens, who have taken out another one too, and they love it. Hard luck for Gallo, who started on pole position, and had a bit of bad luck in that race. I mean, both of them did, but John Baldwin's doing some grass donuts there. And now Gallo decides to celebrate himself. But there's your race winner sitting in glory in the middle of the track. Here's the results from iRacing Centre Cross now, and there it is confirmed, 0.4 of a second the win. Daniel Byrne over David Gallo and John Baldwin. Look how close that was, 2.12, 2.17 and 2.18, the third, fourth and fifth. Absolutely nothing in it. Righto, we'll see if we've got some people to have a chat with now. Are they ready to go yet? Not yet. Right, so we still haven't got anyone in the green room yet. We'll give them another couple of minutes, and we've got to get this sped up, this little process here, because this is important loading time for me to get across.
There. We've got John Baldwin.
Right, let's grab him in. So John, congratulations, John, for P3 tonight. You had to really work for it right at the end there, mate.
Yeah, nearly threw it away when I snatched the brake coming into the chicane. So fortunately, the boys were far enough back that a subpar run out of that turn didn't affect me too much.
Oh, well done, mate. Congratulations. And on the podium tonight, we've got Daniel with us as well. Daniel, congratulations, mate. You've come home with a win tonight. Both yourself and your teammate a bit of misfortune at certain times tonight, but you came home with the goods.
Yeah, cheers. Yeah, we had a couple of issues with some lap cars, but it wasn't too bad. Still a good result in the end, so I think we're both pretty happy with that.
Well done, and David as well. Congratulations, mate. Obviously started from pole, would have maybe liked to win that one, but talk us through your race quickly and what went wrong.
Yeah, no, we're pretty happy with the race. The way it sort of started gave us a bit of breathing room there with the bit of chaos at turn one, so me and Daniel sort of got a bit of a gap, so and then towards the end, like Daniel sort of said, we got stuck behind a couple of lapped cars and put me back behind Daniel, and but other than that, sort of kept it clean and yeah, come back 1-2, so happy with that.
Good job, guys. Let's do some thank yous. We've got to get across the gold server. So Daniel Byrne with the win tonight. Who would you like to thank?
Yeah, shout outs to Bianca and Atari, to KIPPERS Racing, Driver 808 on YouTube and TikTok, AML Technology.
Great job, mate. David, P2, who would you like to thank?
Yeah, Kittens Racing, AML Tech, Driver 808, and my wife and my two girls.
Legend, mate. Well done for P2. And then finally, John, congratulations on a third. Who would you like to thank, mate?
Yep, Hazy again for the paint job, and Dougal and Chumley, me two dogs.
Legend. Righto, mate. That's it for silver. Stand by for gold. Dave, we'll take a couple of minutes. We'll head over and get this new server loaded up. Thanks, guys, for coming in for a chat.
Thanks, guys.
Back with you shortly.
Cheers.
See you in a minute.
Thanks, guys.
Righto, folks, stand by. We're going to head across to the gold server. I'll be back with you in a couple of minutes. Welcome back to part 2 of the evening. It is qualifying for gold right now. All the cars out on the racetrack, and we're just seeing at the moment Bailey Evans sitting on top, doing a nice job with the 59.0. So we're almost into the 58s. Watch those sector times as we roll down the clock towards the big race tonight for round number 7. Thanks to Racecraft Simulations, lovely stickers, and of course VRS with the code word for tonight's VRS competition being KIPPERS. Make sure you get involved with that competition, please. It helps our sponsors greatly. It helps this series greatly to keep it going. So join in, and you could be winning in a couple of weeks' time that fantastic package. So it's very good. A 1-year subscription to VRS. If you don't know what VRS is, go and do yourself a favour. Give it a Googs and find out exactly what it is. Google will be your friend tonight. Welcome back, Dave.
Oh, somebody on the roof on the main straight.
Okay. I used to get a nice red box come up on my screen when someone was upside down. Doesn't give me that anymore, so... Oh, there's one of the tank cars. Bowden. Rob Bowden. He needs a good result tonight. He's had a bit of bad luck lately.
Well, in qualifying, he's upside down in the middle of the main straight on his roof. That doesn't bode well, does it?
Doesn't Bowden at all. So we'll crank up the sound of the cars a little bit here. Try and get some noise happening. These guys in the Simrigs cars, they've been pretty hard to beat at the moment. Evans and Josh Fitt right up there again. In fact, Reese Magetz, Chris Ireland and Philip Worley, the top 5 cars here are Simrigs cars tonight, DPR.
When I jumped in a couple of minutes ago, it was Jack Marin on top, and now I look and Jack Marin's back in 7th, so pretty competitive at the front there.
Well, don't forget to Jack Mara leading the championship, so in the Scuderia DSR Snacker Changi car, so he's leading the championship after 6 rounds. He's got a bit to prove tonight. He probably wants to qualify a bit better than 7th, you would think.
Yeah, because it's not the easiest circuit to pass on, so you certainly would want to be, you'd be trying everything you can to get further up.
Another car around in the gravel trap. Right there. That's Rob Bowden again, is it? There's Rob, so he's not having fun out there, whatever he's doing.
Not at all. And very unlike Rob.
Adam Simpson, John Nikoloff just behind him on the timing as well. Big snap of oversteer mid corner. Chris Barnes, Philip Sanders down in 24th place, going for a spin. He's one of the Drop Bear Motorsport cars in a little bit of trouble there. Craig Enspatch, 28th place. Still a way to go. I'm sure some of these liveries haven't loaded in tonight. They're still downloading, so there you go. We're about
all bar 3 cars here, Luke, are all sub one minute laps, so that shows the speed of this gold field. True, yeah, and I thought we might see a 58. We're pretty close to it. We're only 6 thousandths of a second off dipping into the 58, so... Yeah, 59.006 is at Bailey Evans at the moment, so...
Maybe a tow is required to help out. With so many Simrigs cars up the top there, they've just been split now by one of the Area 51 cars. Alex Court has gone into 4th place. I wonder if they're not... I'm surprised they're not doing more towing.
I think Philip Worley was fastest in pre-qualifying again, if I remember right. I may have that wrong. But yeah, Philip's been really the class of the field, the pace the last couple of races. He's back there in 6th, so I'm just following him on the second monitor here to see how his lap goes. But
here's Ricky, who hasn't set a time yet. Just goes up into P32, was it, or did you go better than that? No, he still hasn't set a time. Ricky Provenzale.
Yeah, I think some of them are finding it hard to get a bit of clear road and not get a balked lap, which is, hey, that's just what happens in the real world too.
That's right.
On that clear bit of road where you can actually do a lap without getting interfered is difficult. So I think Philip Morley's just lining up to have another go. Oh, he's lost it on the last corner. He's round. He hasn't hit anything. He's gone round the last corner just as he was about to take on his, what I would have thought to be his flyer. So that's not done him any favours at all.
Yeah, that was Josh Fitt off the road there as well. Reese Magetz still sitting in 3rd. I'll have a look at Worley. He's going to start another lap now, and has he got something left in the bag here? He's still to only find 2.5 tenths. You know, you find 2.5 tenths, you're almost on pole position. So when it's this close, you've just got to, I guess, quickly try and analyse where you're slow and where you can improve.
Yeah, so he'll just be trying to, it's not about being slower and improving, it's about putting all of your best corners together into one lap. That's what he'll be trying to do, is not, he's get every corner the best that he can do.
Yeah.
A little bit wide there. Oh, he's in the dirt. That's probably ruined that lap.
Yeah.
That's an off track.
Well, explain that, because an off track means that iRacing won't count your lap, right? Unlike in the real world where you could go off track and you still get your lap.
So, yeah, unfortunately, I'm not a great believer in this, but in iRacing they have off tracks, whereas if you get a wheel over the curb and in the grass or on the grass on the way out, it says that's an off track and that lap is void and it doesn't count. Whereas in the real world, you know, if I put a wheel over the curb or drop a wheel in the grass on the way out, I mean, they still count the lap in most cases.
Yeah.
Yeah, if I get 4 wheels off over the curb and there's concrete out there, that's a different thing. But here we're seeing there's a curb and there's grass, so I figure if you've got 2 wheels on the road, that's all that's really required. That's the way my head works anyway.
Yeah, and what about, as we see the clock run out on qualifying here, what about turn 1 in gold? We got 3 times more cars than we had in silver. Are we going to be able to get through there without a smash-up derby?
Hopefully they saw silver and saw that, you know, obviously it's a pretty slippery place, turn 1, lap 1. Yeah, hopefully they'd seen that.
Just trying to see if anyone's on a lap here at all. Paul Rogers has gone 12th now. Wooten's gone off the track, and that'll be the end of his qualifying. Down in the final sector here.
Back in pits, and he's 10th, which is very unlikely.
No yellow flags in iRacing through there, so they can just keep on the money, which is one thing I hope they do put into this this sim eventually. There's Damien Cairns we haven't spoken about yet. He's 16, decent qualifying. He's put himself right up there.
Yep, because we're only seeing 20 runners there on the left-hand side and qualifying on the screen. There's actually 40 guys out there, so there's another 20. So to be up 2/3 of the way up, or 3/4 of the way up the top half, that's doing a pretty good job.
Yep, everyone's in the pits except for Ty Swanepoel, the only car out there in the Think Red Racing. Maybe one of the Think Red guys can come on and tell us, is it the recruiting company that they're sponsored by? And just waiting for him to come around, and then we will go through the grid, the full order of drivers for tonight's race. We've got 38 of them on the grid, so almost a full grid. We're just missing, of course, Benny Roberts tonight, not with us, and a couple of others. So let's get set to go through the grid now as they grid up for this round number 7 of season 12. It's going to be Bailey Evans. Starts off the front row tonight alongside his teammate Josh Fitt. On the second row, Jack Marrow, the championship leader, starts from P3 on the grid. Reese McGetz, another of the Simrix cars, completes the top 4. Alex Court out of 5th on the grid with Chris Island 6th, then it's Philip Worley and Harrison Lillis down in 8th place. 9th on the grid, Brad Wooten. Alongside him, just scraping into the top 10 there, 3/10 off the pace, Rob Bowden. Alex Stelbovics in 11th place. Paul Rogers rounds out your top 12. As we head across to the next page, 13th on the grid, Chris Barnes, Luke Fitt, Leith Hardy and Damien Cairns down there in 16th place. We'll start in front of Will Ryan and Trent Gosley on that 9th row of the grid. You got Scotty Barjan and Ben Brazier down there in 20th place, Gavin Nins 21st, Craig Anspach, one of the tank drivers, in 22nd on the grid with Marcus Knitsker and Adam Simpson rounding out 12 rows of this grid. 24th place for Simpson tonight. 25th on the grid, it's John Nikoloff with Philip Sanders alongside him, Drop Bear Motorsport. Then Stephen Fawns, who we spoke about earlier, he's got his coach watching tonight, 27th on the grid. Nick Petrill will start from 28th, Anthony Mazoka 29th, and Brian Cooper rounding out your top 30. Mickey Ruback down in 31st place with Gus Cirillo down in 32nd. Kalen Arthur, Robbie Griffiths down there in 33rd and 34th. Jorgen Smith in 35th with Ty Swanepoel running out your 36 drivers. And right on the back row there, we've got Peter Minute and Ricky Provenzale in 38th on the grid. Lockie Taylor and Lockie Capel at the back there looking after things. Tonight, Righto, there's your big grid. There's a huge order of drivers. Let's go to the grid and have a look at the drivers as they're getting set now. A few of them on course ready to go. Others still standing by, maybe just doing a final few tweaks, getting a drink, grabbing a bite to eat, but they're going to have to be there in about 50 seconds when we go green.
That grid looks like it might go back around the corner, Luke.
I'd say it might. Let's have a look back at Ricky, who's down the back of this grid. There you go. That's how far back we're
Here we
going.
go.
There's a shot from the curb cam. And yeah, this is going to be an exciting start to this race. Bailey Evans, can he lead us down and get through turn one? The pole sitter in the previous race didn't have as much luck. He didn't get a good start. It was actually the guy in P3 that launched well off the line. So just going to keep an eye out for that championship leader, Jack Marrow, sitting there in the middle of your picture, P3. Can he get that hooked up and try and get amongst these Simrigs cars at the front and try and upset their flow into the first couple of laps?
The times in qualifying there were very, very tight, Luke. There's very little in this whole field, whether you're on the pole there or whether you're back around the corner.
Here we go. Here we go. So the revs rise. We get set to go racing for the gold server, the best of the best. Top 38 drivers in the country get away nicely. In fact, really good start. Chalk and cheese compared to the run that we got away in silver. They launched off the line well, and here's the big run now down into turn one, and they get through there cleanly, I think, so far. Look at the way they're going 3 abreast through the mid part of the corner. Great racing.
Yep. That's why these boys are in goal.
Yeah, Bailey Evans leads down through the bottom end of the circuit now. Big train of cars behind him as they flow their way through. Up a few spaces there was Craig Anspach. He's made up a couple of positions in this early part of the race. So has Philip Sanders up a couple as well. We got a spinner in there. It's Reese McGetz has gone around in the back of your picture, trying to pick him up on the camera. He's off in the gravel trap. So unfortunately for him, that's not a good place to go off on lap one. He'll drop right to the rear field.
Yeah, it'll be disappointing. He was well up on the grid. Very disappointing opening lap for Reese, but there's a long way to go. And he hasn't got damage.
Whoa, up over the curb there. That was we got more spinners. Yeah, there's something. Oh, there's a big pile up down there at the final chicane, and plenty of cars involved in that. Yeah, we did. They're rejoining slowly, but your race leader's already halfway around the circuit whilst they're having that melee.
First again.
So
there's I see Mickey Rubox dived into the pits on his in his tricycle.
Oh, Carter's went exit stage right. Who was that? Was that Will Ryan? No, it wasn't Will Ryan. There's someone just rejoining.
That's a long way off the road, isn't it?
Chris Island, maybe? Yeah, it was Chris Island.
Yeah,
still trying to rejoin. Now he gets back on the circuit.
Got it on.
Wow.
That was a long way off the road.
In the chicane, that one. Yeah, we're looking at that whole lot.
Yeah, so race control looking into that incident in the chicane on lap 1. So they're already looking at that. A few people calling for reviews, but they're all over that. So we'll see. We'll probably see some result come out of that very, very shortly. And we've got it again at the chicane. Same thing again. Looks like Brian Cooper's involved in it at that time.
Nick Petrell's facing the wrong way. We've got crashes at the front too. Oh, who's that off the circuit?
Turn 1.
Alex Court, maybe? Facing the wrong way?
Yep, that's Alex facing the wrong way.
Race control 63.
So, we haven't got a safety car yet, but we've had plenty of accidents in this opening couple of laps.
Because cars haven't been stricken. Yes, they've had a spin, but they're able to drive away from it. So, yeah, only if they're stricken and the wheels are hanging off and they need a tow when they're on the road, we get a safety car. So
it's busy on the race control channel. You can just hear the amount of traffic as all the different drivers asking for Rue and the crew to review any incident.
And more people wheels on the dirt. This race will settle down in a minute. They've all got the red mist down. It's the opening laps. They just need to chill out a bit, calm down, keep the car on the road. Don't worry if you let a car or two by. It's a long way to go.
There's Mickey and Damien. Mickey giving us a little bit of a kiss and a hello, welcome, and Damien as well. It's got the fan blowing tonight. Look at, let me just go I'll go full screen on Damien. It's like he's got a bloody Cessna in the room with him tonight. The Cessna idling away. Look at his t-shirt.
Yeah.
Must be a bit warm where he is tonight.
But not the leg of his shorts.
There he is. He knows he's on camera. So yeah, he's cooking it, but he's racing well. 15th place. Behind him, Anthony Mazoka as well, up 13 spots into the top 16 now. Great drive by Anthony, and in a good position.
It is. You do generate an incredible amount of heat in your body when you do this, because your body doesn't know that it's not real. It's racing, and it generates this heat in your body. It's so hot, and when I finish racing, I pick my t-shirt up. It's like I've hopped out of the swimming pool. It's just you sweat a lot.
Yeah. Bailey Evans is looking all classy tonight. He has disappeared up the road. 1.7 seconds the gap. And
Jack Maris slipped into 2 though.
He has too. So Mara's ahead of Fit.
Race control.
Craig Anspatch off the road. There he is. Another one for race control to look at.
Yeah. Fast sector's being done by Robbie Griffiths too, so just watch out for him. He's on the back of Stephen Fawns, who was spoken about in YouTube chat earlier tonight. There's Stephen, Sandgroper Sim Racing, currently sitting in 24th place. And looking out the back of that car, you can see Robbie Griffiths, Lee Hardy in the background as well.
The coach, he looks like he's doing a good job.
Yeah, not bad at all. Zach Maget's making a move on Taylor, I think it was. Further up the order, we've got a good pass going on here between Rogers and Ryan. Down the hill they go, and Trent Gostley just behind them as well. Let's jump on board with him. He's getting the box seat view of this little, oh, look at that, he pushes him wide. Now Gostley's going to try and take advantage and go to the outside as they head up the hill. The outside becomes the inside, so if he can hang in there, he'll get the job done here, and he does. So nice overtake, puts himself up into P8. Good job.
Unfortunately, once you get caught one out, it's really hard to get back on that inside lane and close it down. The train keeps coming. It's carriage after carriage goes past you, and you go, I've got to get back on that inside line, stop this overtake that's happening. So, and Will Ryan got caught out there, unfortunately.
Yeah, so good.
Yeah, that's correct.
Good racing. So, looking at the lap times, we're still in the mid 59s. I was expecting a 58 from these guys. Still maybe to come, but obviously the gold gap is very close. The whole 30 or 38 drivers is very similar, but the ultimate speed is not that much different than the quickest guys in silver. Yeah. I think the other thing is, though, these guys can do it lap after lap very consistently, whereas the silver guys may be able to pull out a couple of quick ones, but can they do it for 50 minutes? I don't think so.
And vice versa, because you'll find some guys are able to do that hot lap and get themselves into the gold server, but can they race all that at that pace? Where the guy in silver may not be able to do that one flyer, but can hold that pace that he's got quite consistently. So it can be either way. I think it was Will Ryan pushing his way back through and taking back one of the spots he lost, but he's lost out again. Yeah, great battle, this little one. 4 cars tucked together. Lewis at the back of it. Into the braking zone they go again. Fit on the inside. Will Ryan on the outside, I think it is, yeah. And now down the hill they go, trying to find track position. It's called trainer curves down through here. But that's really tight stuff down the hill. Who's bravest down into the old hairpin? It's quite a climb up from the bottom of the hairpin, the low hairpin. You climb all the way up to here, so it's the whole back section of that circuit is really a climb. And any mistake you make, it penalises you twice as much because you're climbing.
Yep. Roger's still holding out this little train of cars, and ahead of him, Chris Barnes, who we haven't spoken about, is in a bit of a lonely P5. He's got
enjoying the quiet time.
And his teammate, Rob Bowden, P4. There you go. So Rob's found a bit of form here, and he's got himself a good margin.
Rob's a racer. So, he knows how to race and how to keep out of trouble and keep his nose clean and create the opportunities that bring race wins. So Mara's sitting about 1.8 seconds off the leader, so that'll be an interesting gap to watch. Just see if he can close that gap down a little bit and just start to put a bit of pressure on Bailey in the lead.
Tell you what he's pushing. You see the back end of the car there. He doesn't muck around, this boy, P2.
I'm looking at Will Ryan on the second monitor, and they're 3 abreast going down to the chicane. I'm not looking forward to it. Oh, he's got spots back, so he's done a good job.
Oh, someone went around there. I think it was Luke Fitt.
Luke
Fitt.
Is it Luke Fitt?
Yeah, Luke Fitt in the gravel trap.
I think Lillis was in there as well, by the looks of it. There was more than one in there.
Yeah, I think they may have got together, those two.
So we've got 40 minutes to go. We're probably looking at about 20 minutes to go before they absolutely have to do a pit stop. So it'd be interesting to see when the first guys decide to come in. See, we got 3 abreast. I saw that idea.
Just going to see what happens to Luke Fitt. Oh, he went straight into the back of one of the other cars.
Yep. So see.
That's Peter Minute with a drive-through penalty for causing an incident.
Yep. I think you might find whoever that was then that's tapped the back of somebody, they might become a bit of a penalty as well, although I don't think they really need to, because they penalise themselves by putting themselves in the sandpit and not hurting the guy in front. So
yep.
We'll see.
Ben Brazier here with the Racecraft Simulations team. Right up there in 16th tonight. Good looking car, this one, and big shout out to our fantastic sponsor as well, Racecraft.
Yeah, their cars are always beautifully presented, look great on the track.
Yep.
This is their gold, part of their gold team, which you can see the gold on the car, that signifies the gold team. And hopefully we might see Chris Mitchell back somewhere along the lines. Missing Chris this year.
We are.
979.
Yeah, sometimes you got to take a break to enjoy, to realise what you're missing.
Yeah, yep. Now we did miss his big character and top bloke. So just watching this battle back in 16th place. There's a bigger battle going on back further in around 24th position as well. So someone's just been given permission to tow. This is the battle I'm alluding to. It's Chris Island, Lockie Taylor sits in front of them, and Alex Court on your screen right now, having a look down the inside. Oh, a little bit of contact.
A little bump and contact, a little bit of rub and tracing, but looks like Nick
Island went in the pits. Yeah, Chris Island.
And
then here comes Anspatch as well, and Betrill down the inside. Anspatch wheel to wheel. Thank you very much. He says, I'll take that position. That'll be 24th for me, 25th for you. Adios. Lots of wheel to wheel racing. It's good. This is what we want to see.
Yeah, and we don't want to see them wheel to wheel and bang and off the road, but a little bit of a bump and a tuck. I mean, that's real racing. It happens out there. I wish iRacing would do a bit better job of when they touch wheels, getting that little smoke that you see in the real world.
Yeah. So Gosty with a great exit just dispatches Will Ryan. These guys have just been swapping places lap after lap, this little trio of cars.
So I've had them on my second monitor, and every time I look over there, they're side by side. I go, don't look.
For Wally too, just outside the top 10, so sitting in 11th now for him. And just needs to stay connected to these guys. I don't think so. I gotta tell you, no, he hasn't. So
okay.
The first person to make a stop so far down our order is Mickey, back in 31st place.
Okay.
So 36 to go in this gold round number 7 here of a 10-round series. We've got 3 to go after tonight. We've got our championship, our rating championship not racing for a couple of rounds. So I'm not sure if Benny will come back for the last few, but his title will be definitely under threat with the likes of Mara, who's leading the championship now, P2 in this race and getting a good haul of points again whilst our reigning champion is absent.
Yeah, I'm not sure what's going on with Ben, but it just sounded like he's a bit stressed and too many things going on. And sometimes, life and real world things have to come first. And, we all enjoy our sim racing and we love having a bit of fun. But sometimes, family, work, personal issues got to come first. And it just sounded like Ben's got that. So from us here at the out to Ben, mate, hope everything's great and we see you back soon.
Yeah, we do. We wish him...
there we
get
go.
back.
And
There's a crash.
Another side by side through. They're all sitting there waiting for clear track. They're watching their relative to know when there's somebody coming and when it's clear for them to get back on the road.
So that was Wally and Ryan that just got together, those two. Let's have a quick glance at the replay on that one.
That was pretty tight stuff up through there trying to go to a break.
See if you can lay the blame on anyone here. So Wally was behind. And here we go. Oh, he got in there hot.
No. Unfortunately, Phillips just got a little bit hot, locked a brake and slid in the back of Will. So I think you might find Phillip having a little penalty coming his way.
Back live.
I don't want to preempt what race control are doing. They do an awesome job. They'll look at that properly. That's just my sort of off-the-cuff opinion is that it looks like he got in a bit hot and unfortunately just tapped Will around, and I think he'll probably end up paying the price for it.
Yep, here's a couple of the, 4 of the guys from Area 51 out there. What do you reckon? You reckon they're Trekkies? Area 51? They gotta love their X.
A bit like Trekkies.
They gotta love their X-Files. I reckon these guys. I love my X-Files. I love aliens and flying saucers and remember Unsolved Mysteries and all those TV shows that were a little bit spooky.
I go back further. I go back to things like UFO and Spectre.
Oh, very cool. Getting a wave there from the drivers as well. So nice to see. And yeah, I reckon these guys love their gaming. They love their motorsport. And you know what? I reckon they absolutely love getting on here on a Tuesday night and hanging out with each other and having a good laugh.
Yep.
And then for this 50 or so minutes, there's no laughing. It all gets quite serious. Look at the look of, the looks on the faces. Very serious. And fair enough. This is what you sometimes practice all week for.
Well, if you're going to do something, you want to do it right and sort of put in a proper effort. And they're certainly doing that. Interesting in the different quality of the webcams there too, Luke.
Yeah, does stand out sometimes.
Yeah, I think I might have put Vaseline on the screen, give me that soft focus look.
We're looking at Nick now, so Nick's on your screen and currently sitting in 24th place, up 4 positions, just waiting for his camera to reload.
So what's the Dubby significance? What's Dubby stand for? Do you know anything, Luke?
No idea.
Dubby Area 51 Zoom Sports, and I see Dubby on the side of the cars.
Yeah.
I don't really know the significance of Dubby.
Maybe they like dubstep, the style of music.
Just the one pit stop tonight, sure. Unless you've got multiple problems and you'll probably have to make more, but it's only one mandatory pit stop. They'll need to do that for fuel. I doubt whether anyone will take tyres tonight. And if you do, the trouble is getting them warm again. You lose a lot of time over a couple of laps.
Yeah, here's your race lead up. 2.3 clear of Jack Marra. Quite a big gap as they go down the hill. There's the gap back to...
Yeah.
And then obviously Chris Island down at 30th sits in front of Jorgen Smith.
So Luke, have you had a drive of any of the new cars in the latest release of iRacing?
Mate, my simulator is sitting in a pile in the corner.
That's disappointing, mate.
Yeah, I mean at Christmas time I pulled the whole rig apart. I set up my monitor on my on my studio desk, which takes up the whole room basically, and unfortunately the sim is packed away, so might be moving in the next 6 months. I think that's when it will come out again and I'll have a dedicated spot to once again try and do a bit of racing.
Cool, that'd be good. Because the latest release, they released the Formula Ford, which is dear to my heart, of course. And I've met with all my mates in the UK and across Australia and New Zealand. What I've been having a lot of fun with a really, really good bit of fun car to drive.
Oh, I bet it is.
slides around a lot.
Yep.
You really arrive at corners sort of sideways and balancing on the brakes, and we've all said it's actually very, very close to the real thing. Very impressive. A little bit looser in the rear end. You can't sort of lean on the outside rear tyre quite the way you can in the real car.
Yep.
But it's very, very close, and for a first release, it is actually superb. So, yeah, so we've been having lots of fun.
That's awesome. Yeah, I definitely am looking forward to getting back into it at some point. I really need. I changed from 3 screens to a 49, obviously, and then I started broadcasting, and it all went miserably from there as far as actually doing any racing. I think I need to move the 49 onto the sim and then just get another couple of 27s for the broadcasting.
So I just, when I'm racing the car, if I'm driving the car, I have to do it in VR because it's what I relate to.
Yeah, right.
It's the closest thing to the reality. When it's on screens, it just doesn't give me that spatial experience that I relate to from the real world.
Yep.
So I think coming from most of my mates who've come from the real world have gone, yeah, VR works for me because it gives me the closest to my known experience. We find it very hard to drive on a screen because it's two-dimensional. So looks like Brian Cooper off there in the KIPPERS again, in one of the red and blue cars, and we've got another car up there as well.
And
But yeah, if you get the chance, have a drive. It's good fun.
yeah, for sure. Definitely want to get back into it. So I was just having a look then at the lap times are still sitting around a minute mark. The actual pace in this Gold Series is probably a little bit slower than we saw in Silver. There, I'm not sure if it's a different track temp, but or they're pacing themselves better, knowing that it's a 50-minute race. But you know, we're seeing them in the 1:01s. You know, seventh place and down. Last lap was all the 1:01.
They are all racing hard though, so they're having to cover their lines and that sort of thing, which can be compromising their lap times as well. And we can see there a good example on screen there, car 14 Craig Ansmatch taking a wide entry and then sort of blocking the middle of the corner, and it's just taking lap time away from everyone because they're racing and covering corners and defending. They're not just sitting out there by themselves, just driving away.
And Swanepoel then had a look around the outside, didn't really work out for him. He now has to sit back in behind. People are asking me what happened to Fawns. I'm just trying to rub my crystal ball here. I don't know, to be honest with you. We'll try and find out. He's sitting back there in, what was he, 20... he's fallen back more, has he? 25th place, there he is. Not sure. Took a pit stop, possibly part of it. And now it's only, and you know what? No, sorry, Fawns has not stopped. So yeah, we'll try and find out what happened. But he's obviously gone backwards there for some reason.
Stephen there came over the little rise and then lost the tail, got loose, and you saw the car get a bit sideways, and he just grabbed it back straight really nicely. But you can see they're having to drive these cars because it's the changes in elevation sort of give you lightness. So you come over the brow and suddenly the back end of the car's all light. So we saw that happen there with Stephen.
Yep. So we're gonna look now. Yeah, definitely can't see any incidents that he's had. There was obviously a bit of a stack on lap 1, but other than that, it's just yeah, been passed a few times.
Race control have certainly been given the runaround tonight too. I keep hearing I keep hearing them having incidents called left, right, and centre. So
Got your car 8 lap 22 there.
Busy. Yeah, 27 minutes to go. This is Alex being chased down here by Anthony Mazzoka. Mazzoka looking really racy. Let's jump on board with him up the hill.
trying to get up the inside there. It's hard because on the outside they can carry the speed without having to touch the apex. And now he's up the outside and he's trying to look to get that run down the inside here and hoping he can get a little bit more speed out of the corner, which he's got in the toe. Pop down the inside and he's going to try and get himself position.
Oh, that's close.
Oh, interlocking wheels, that's dangerous, boys. But he just couldn't do it on the inside line because the rubber's on the outside line, a little bit more grip on the outside line means that they can break that a little bit later. So he's able to win. This is serious fighting here. De Niro tried down the outside and try and swap and come out on the inside, which he's done. See that? And he's got that over and under run. That'll get him positioned down the hill. He should have this by the time they get to Old Hairpin. And he has. He's got in front. So that was a really, really nice over and under. Down the outside, compromised the guy in front's entrance to the corner, making him go wide and a slow exit, and then taking a fast exit from the wide entry that he had into what's called an over and under and taking the place. That was a really nice bit of driving.
Great job, and it lit the eyes up of Philip Sanders too, who's now all over the back of Alex. He wants a piece of this action in the drop bear car. I think the sole drop bear car tonight. We don't have Daniel Yeaman with us, and I think it's the only one out there for that team tonight.
I think Phillips looked at that and gone, oh, I'll put that down on my notebook and I'll try that one in a lap or two.
Yeah, it was beautiful. So as we hit the halfway point of the race, still Evans out in front, 2.7 seconds, and then it's about another 7-second gap back to Josh Fitt, who's been just chipping around in third place, looking nice, and he's got a gap back to Rob Bowden, who's still holding on to fourth place, be it that they're 13 seconds back, P4. But good drive. I'm enjoying seeing Rob up there again. He deserves a good result. Let's see if he can bring it home from there.
Well, he's a class act, and he's his consistency of being able to drive through the carnage and get himself a top position is that's where the class is.
Yep.
This is Alex Stelbovics. Now, Alex hasn't been with us long, and he's putting up a really good show. He's having a fantastic race there with Marzocca. That was superb, and really, he's driving sensationally well. So it's good to see some new people sort of pushing their way there into the top 10 and bring some new names in.
Yep.
Lillis hasn't been with us that long. And Rogers is, I think, pretty new for this season as well. So that's really good to see. It shows other people that don't be afraid to come in and have a go. There's, most people who are quick are pretty capable of putting up a good showing, and you'll certainly come out of this series a better driver than you came in.
Yeah, this is Paul Rogers we're looking at now, P5 as well. And you said, one of the other newcomers, good-looking race car, and he's got a little bit of a battle going on here with Harrison Lillis, so fast lane esports driver. E6 wants to get in front of him at some point. We're definitely in, fuel stop range now for these top cars. Maybe he might think of the undercut here, Lillis.
Now, see Stelbovics and Marzocca swapping position on our leaderboard there. We can't see them, but I keep seeing the names swapping around. And also there in 7th place is Chris Barnes, which is a great return to a competitive pace here, which we've not seen from Chris for a race or two.
Loving these cars moving around. It's good to see. Damien Cairns, I just noticed him further down the order, 23rd. He was up in about 16th earlier in the race. He has made his pit stop though, so he can have his head down now to the end of this one. He's tucked up behind Will Ryan. He'll try and dispatch him as quickly as possible. But yeah, look, once that pit stop's out of the way, you can then just concentrate on what you got to do to finish this race. And he'll get a few little pluses and minuses, but the pluses will be when the driver's in front come into the pits, and he can then go straight around them. I used to love that when I was racing, and I'd see all these names in front go grey. And when you're on a different strategy, and then all of a sudden you just take about 6 or 7 positions in one little phase down the pit lane.
So we saw that over and under there again. So 88, which is that
Cairns.
Damien Cairns?
Yeah.
So Damien, just a beautiful little move there on, I think it was Will Ryan. It was a really nice little move. Again, compromise the entry, got the run out, pass. We've seen some great racing tonight. They're side by side, they're all over each other, but they're racing good, hard, fair. I reckon there's going to be a lot of faces with a big grin on it at the end of this.
You'd hope so, and it's one of the things that this series does bring is a lot of good competition, good racing, and a big smile like Alex Court's profile picture there.
Yes.
But 22 to go. 22.
Quite got his complexion right though.
Probably not. Fawn's in the pits, so he's in from 32nd place. A long, long way back now as we watch Alex Court trying to just get something done here with Will Ryan. And Cairns now grabs another spot, courtesy of Gavin Nins coming into the pits. So that's what I mean. You start to pick them off. Once you've got your pit stop done, you can go to the end and you start to pick off a few drivers that are on an alternate strategy and still need to stop. Being that basically the top, the top 16 are still yet to come in for their first, well, their only pit stop. So Damien Cairns is actually looking in a pretty good position here.
We've got 20 minutes to go, or 21 odd minutes to go. So where's your countdown tonight, Luke? I'm lost without the countdown, mate.
It's up the top.
Oh, no, there it is. Yeah, 21. I'm okay. It's okay again. Yeah, that countdown showing about 21 minutes to go. So you would think that we're going to see, because we haven't had any safety cars, you'd think we're going to see pit stops happen in the next few laps.
You'd hope so.
So Will Ryan must have had a bit of an issue there, because he's back to 22nd and he was up there in 8th place battling with Stelbovic. So obviously he's had a bit of an issue there somewhere on the road. So
Paul Rogers, I think, is what's happened to Paul Rogers. He's just...
Has he pitted?
Yeah, Paul Rogers is in the pits. So Evans out in front. See the gap there.
So I said they should be coming in pretty soon.
Just for Dave's, there's the countdown for anyone that's trying to find it.
Thanks, mate. I couldn't find it.
So under 20 minutes to go now as we head into the last part of this race.
That many comedians out of work and you want to be one.
And we'll quickly look. I think it's not going to work, but we'll try. Hopefully a pit strategy. I've just been trying a few little coding things in the background here, and let's see if we've got pit strategy. No, we still don't. So they've bricked that. They've bricked that on me. They've bricked it on me. So anyway, what we can do is look at the number of pit stops, and you'll notice right now that the top drivers are all sitting on 0. Rogers, though, who has made a stop, which we just look at Rogers there he is, and 11th place for him, so looking good, moving up the order, and he'll grab a few more spots as they start to pit.
We've got Brazier and Stelbovics have just taken a pit stop, so looked like Brazier got in and out a lot quicker than Stelbovics did. So they've dropped, Stelbovics dropped another couple of places over Brazier. So you'll see if we keep that up, we'll see them all. We've got Pete Manette in the sand, in the kitty litter somewhere on. There he is. Just went past him, and somebody else disappearing in the pits. Yeah, so Cooper's just dived into the pits. We could. We could have a safety car for Wagon.
So who have we got around at the moment? Lockie Taylor's stuck down there. Who else is that?
Yeah, they're apart. So I think now that they've now that Roo didn't have to get out his bucket of water and throw it at them, they've separated themselves.
We got that.
And I think we're clear. So I was just seeing those two cars not far off the road, locked together. I'm thinking, oh, we're going to get a safety car here. So he's calling for a tow.
That's surely a safety car there.
He's off the race line. Probably not.
I know in Formula 1 that would be a safety car every day of the week.
Yeah, and just I think that what the basic rule that he has called safety car.
So this will obviously we're going to see a flurry into the pit lane now. This will
already happening.
Yeah. Gets in, Simpson in, Hardy in as well. The leader should come in. You would think. You'll just take a nice exit.
Who is looking good here is Rogers, because he's made his stop, and it just depends how quick he can get back around to the pit lane.
He's a long way away though. He's just coming down the hill. So Luke Fitt's going to be a mile in front. Bailey Evans, will be a mile in front.
Yep.
Jack Mara then Fitt. I think they're all going to be pretty safe here. So look, this will give us a grandstand finish. We'll probably have, once the safety car does its laps, we'll probably have
Bailey
13,
Evans already out of the pit lane.
12,
He's
13
exited
minutes to
the
go.
pit lane. Mara's out of the pit lane. Bowden's out of the pit lane. Fitt's out of the pit lane. And they seem to have all pretty much held position. Oh, someone off there at turn 1 came into the pit lane and went off. Who's that? Chaos in the pits. Cars everywhere.
Race control, wave rounds.
Gee, calm boys, they're already calling for wave rounds. Don't get to it.
You can now tow. Wave rounds be carried out as per normal procedure. You do not need to ask.
Just hold off for asking.
So this will neutralise everything with 15 to go at the moment. There's
Yep.
the car that's caused the safety car. Need a minute, it's off the track. And he's been given permission to tow now, but Lockie Capel has this crawling, look at the pace of this safety car. What are we doing, 40, 50 k's an hour?
Yeah, so what he's trying to do is bunch the whole field up so they're all behind. Then they can do the wave rounds, and then they can go up to a higher speed to
Everyone on the lead
begin
lap,
to return to race pace.
Everyone who is on
Mate,
lap
while we got a
four
sec,
down
let's
on
quickly
the
show this
line
racecraft
and
rig, because I've shown it a couple of times now.
Yep.
It's a mega rig. Check this out, folks.
That traffic right now, lap themselves.
Mega rig there from Racecraft Simulations. Go check them out and go get yourself one of their rigs. They're incredible. So we just saw the wave rounds happening there as we're on board with Bailey Evans, and a flurry of cars getting back onto the lead lap.
A lot of cars.
Yeah.
A lot of cars doing that lap.
So we're at 14 to go now. I reckon it's going to be 10 minutes to go by the time this safety car's done.
When you get too close to pit entry to pull the safety car in this lap, the safety car will do another lap, but the speed will be increased, and those guys that have gone past will be driving their wheels off to try and get round the back of the car, back of the queue, so that they can then take advantage and try and move up.
Yep. Great looking safety car. I always say that it's just one of the highlights, you know, the work that was put into this series to make it so pro. But that safety car always just looks beautiful.
Thanks, Luke.
And it's good to have you back too, Dave. I know we spoke about that last week, mate. Are you feeling better?
I'm feeling 100% better.
On the mend?
I feel so much better, it's not funny.
Very
It was
good.
a big operation, something I didn't have a choice, something they were very lucky to find by accident. If they hadn't have found it, you may not have had me here.
Wow.
So yeah, big surprise.
The pack before I pulled out.
And just to give you a heads up, it's what's called an aortic aneurysm. So it's the main artery down through your body, blows up in a balloon. What I didn't know is it was hereditary, and it is for all men. If you have anyone who's a brother or a father, a nephew who's ever had an aortic aneurysm, as a male in the same family, go and get yourself checked, because it is a really, really, really high chance that you'll get the same. And the trouble is, if it blows up into a balloon and it bursts, you're dead.
Yeah, wow.
There's no two ways about it. So I was lucky they scanned me for a shoulder injury and they found it.
Wow.
And I was about to go to Europe with my son, and the doctor said if I'd gone, I wouldn't have come back. So,
Wow.
so just for me, my father nearly died of it 30 years ago.
Yep.
I had no idea that it was a hereditary condition. Had I known that, I would never have gotten the position that I was in. So, to anybody out there, if you know anybody in your family, go and get yourself checked.
Yeah, wise words, and mate, it's great that you're still with us and you're here again tonight. We love your commentary, and let's get set to go racing, because here we go. 12 minutes to go. We are back to green flag racing here, and it's your race leader Evans, the championship leader at the moment. P2, Jack Mara. He would love a win tonight to really capitalise on Roberts not being here. And then behind him it's Josh Fitt, Rob Bowden in fourth place, hanging on. And then you got Harrison Lillis for Fastlane Esports as well. And look at the speed they carry down the hill. This is just such a great circuit. Fantastic to watch as they blur out in the vision there. They're going so fast.
It's it looks like a nice clean restart right down through the field, but this circuit is probably, it's not got the popularity that it possibly deserves, and I think that's a little bit to do with the owners of the circuit being Tom Wincroft and the family owned it, but they don't promote it quite the way that Brands Hatch and Silverstone and everything has got behind it, and it's sort of fallen off the pedestal a little bit, but it really is one of the great tracks in the UK.
Oh yeah, it's so picturesque as well. You've got the planes taken off in the background as we see an overhead shot coming down the pit straight. You can see to your left there, that's where the old Grand Prix circuit would go as well and loop back around.
Yep.
If you want to see some good F1 footage, go and watch Donington, Ayrton Senna opening laps in the wet. And it's just some incredible footage of him around this circuit.
That is an incredible piece of footage. Oh, we've got two off in the background, so
yeah, Brazier and Batril, I think it is.
Yep.
Unfortunately, they're off. It's coming back on again now.
Well, trying to.
Oh, the best rejoin, and Gosley's off as well. Gosley facing the wrong way at high speed. That's going to really ruin his chances of a top 15 finish tonight, and he'll drop down out of the 30 probably with that. When the field's bunched up, any mistake in this next couple of laps is crucial. You lose so many positions.
It costs you dearly. Team Marin's actually putting a little bit of pressure back on Bailey in the lead here now. And there's Bowden making a move for third.
Go. Bowden into third, so he gets that done very cleanly. Rob's back on the podium.
Can Rob now get up there and put a bit of pressure on these two at the front? That'd be great to watch.
He's pushing hard. You saw it kick up the dust there as he just clipped the edge of the circuit. So he's putting in 10/10s. Looking at the lap times too, we're down to a 59.0. We're right on the edge of that 58 now with just under 10 to go. Simpson off.
It's a real rhythm circuit too. It's got a nice flow to it, so you've got to get that rhythm. If you can get that rhythm, you can knock off those fast time lap after lap, and then that puts the pressure on the guys in front. So that's what Rob will be looking at doing now, trying to string together a real set of fast laps and just take some time out of those guys in front. They start going, Jesus, he's coming, and start them thinking about you instead of you thinking about them.
Yeah. Stephen Fawn's down in 33rd place. Sure, that was asking. We'll put the ticker across the top now for the last.
Mickey's been missing in action tonight. What's happened to Mickey?
Yeah, they're in 20th place at the moment, Mickey. So.
Oh yeah.
Pushing along the 2-1-2, up 11 spots. Caitlin Arthur just in front as well, up 14 spots. Good drive by a couple of those midfield drivers at the moment. Robbie Griffiths too. Shout out to him, up 12 into 22nd. So some good gains. But I want to also point out this bloke Mazuka. We've spoken about him already tonight. And Philip Sanders, who's behind him. Both these two, 7th and 8th place. Anthony's made up 22 spots to be in the top 7, and Philip Sanders behind him for Beyond Blues Drop Air Motorsport, up 18 spots into 8th. So great drive by those two.
We saw some nice racecraft from Anthony earlier, so yeah, that's what gets you big gains in a race, in a quality race like this. To move up 20 odd spots, you've got to be doing something right. Yeah,
new fastest lap of the race there, 59.07 for Jack Mara P2. So he's answering the call. Yeah, and he's right on the tail now. If you look at that, a 10th of a second. He doesn't want to sit there in P2. He wants this win.
And Rob Bowden's only 1.8 seconds back. That's not far. These guys get tangled, start covering a corner or two, and Rob's going to be right there on them.
Yeah, that's it. Nikolov just goes off the circuit, back on again. Yeah, how much does Jack want this tonight? I mean, he's got to think championship as well. He doesn't want to tangle with Bailey Evans because, this is all about him capitalising. And he's also got to remember that Bailey is right there in the championship, P3. So just behind Benjamin Roberts, who's in 2nd. So your leader of the championship now is actually following the guy who's 3rd in the championship. The last thing he wants to do is get a penalty or get tangled somehow. And there's our first 58, a 58.98 for Bailey Evans. He's pushing the hole in the air too, so that's a decent lap time out in front.
In the dirt there, so he is really pushing. He's feeling that pressure from Jack behind. Look at Jack's all over him. He's in the left mirror. He's in the right mirror. He's trying to unsettle Bailey here in the lead. This is a great race between the two of these guys. And Rob's just sitting back there saying, "Come on, mess each other up. I really want to come and join you."
Yeah.
He'd be wanting to get involved in this. See there where we're moving across the right, covering corners. That takes time. Takes time and slows you down. So, and we can see
How
Rob
defensive he is.
See, Rob's only a second back from them now.
Yeah.
A minute ago he's 1.8. So they're holding each other up a little bit here by pushing hard and maybe overdriving a little bit, and Rob's closing in.
Great to watch. Bailey's just covering the lines very early as well. He doesn't need to be that aggressive in defence when the car's 2-3 car lengths behind.
It's going to soon become a three-way battle though.
Yeah, Bowden now within 8 tenths for P3, 5.5 minutes to go. Time certain race here. Once that clock ticks down to 0, we've got 1 lap to finish. We'll finish the lap we're on, and this is going to be a fight to the death. I do love a good safety car with about 20 to go. It always pushes it into an exciting finish.
How much you pay for Roo for this one?
I snuck him a little one. Just a big hug next time I see him, or the first time I see him actually.
Okay, so look, Bowden's right on the back of Jack Mara now.
Yeah.
So right on the back of him.
And see, Jack won't want to get engaged with someone he's not fighting the championship with either. This is too risky.
He doesn't want to let a car get between him and the guys in third in the series. So he's in a hard spot here. And see, he's covering the corner. Now, if he starts covering the corner, what you're going to find is Bailey's going to run away.
Yeah, and Bowden, look at fistfuls of opposite lock as he comes through turn 1. Now down the hill. We're right on board with him.
This is great. Let's just stay here for a bit. Look, this is awesome footage.
He's wide. Bowden's wide.
Missed an apex. He's out in the dirt. Saved it again. You see how hard these guys are trying. And now he's dropped third place. So Luke Fitz jumped in.
Yeah. You saw that a mile away. He went wide at the bottom of the hill, straight out onto the dirt.
He missed an apex by 12 inches. You know? And at the speed they're doing, you can't afford to do that. So that's how easy any one of these guys could make a mess of what they've gained all race. So that's where the pressure is on. And I've got to say, Bailey's looking really good out front. He's driving beautifully. We're not seeing too many mistakes. Seen a wheel in the grass and a few things, but not a mistake like Rob made then, unfortunately. That was really disappointing to see that, because he's just got himself in the position to really put some pressure on.
Yeah, another good battle back here. Will Ryan's just got through into 16th now and up the road. Cairns 12th place with Alex Court.
That's a great drive by Damien Cairns up to 12th. And I see Chris Barnes dropped back to 17th now. That's disappointing. I thought he's having a really good run tonight.
Yeah, and we've talked about Cairns a fair bit. He came in as a silver driver, then he got into gold. He's quickly worked his way up into the top 20, hasn't he? He's consistently in the top 20.
Yep.
He's now knocking on the door of a top 10. If he can make this position consistent, he'll be fighting for race wins by the end of this season, if not next.
And I see there he's chasing Stelbovics, which is he's been fantastic tonight. Stelbovics, he's been solid in that sort of 11th place. He's had some unbelievable battles that we saw there with Will Ryan. Kept the car straight, kept it on the road, and kept his position. And he's been as solid as a rock all night. So that's a really nice performance by Stelbovics.
100%. We'll get him on the screen. There he is, the number 8 car. And
another good-looking car, nice livery.
Yeah.
Really, they don't just turn up and go and just put some paint on the car. They really make an effort to present the cars the best they possibly can. Proud team members. You look at these Simrigs cars at the front. They're all teammates. They're proud of the way they present themselves. It's great to see.
Sure is. As Bowden now tries to get back into a position for a podium, he'll be absolutely crossing himself that he threw that away.
Angry.
Yeah, and he may still have a chance here to get back into P3. He's right into the on the tailpipe here of Josh Fitt. We're running out of laps though, probably only 3 to go, I would say.
I reckon if anybody can do this, Rob can do it. So he's going to try the over and under here. He'll come down the outside, push him in, and he'll try and come out underneath, and there we go. But he hasn't quite got the pace. He hasn't got... Oh, he's got a wheel up the side. He's got some overlap. Can he get down the inside?
Oh, there's a wobble there.
It's a big
Got it.
moment. He's done it. He's done it. He's got back to third place.
Or
It's
has
still
he?
battling. He's not over yet. They're going to take this all the way up the hill. Oh, boys, keep it on the road. Don't touch each other because you're driving brilliantly. So Rob's on the inside. I think they're still side by side. Now they're going to run up to the next one. And who's that moving in behind them? Lillis.
Yeah.
So he didn't. He took 3/4 of the lap to try and pass, and he didn't pull it off. And now it looks like he's almost losing fourth to Lillis. So that's the trouble. You lose your momentum. That was a great effort, but it wasn't. Oh,
Look behind as well.
He's made a mess on the entry to the chicane. Too deep into the chicane, and lost the momentum on the
He
way
lost the
out.
position too, so he's back to 5th, and Rogers and Mazoka having a massive ding-dong here as well.
Yeah, down the inside, squeezing on the grass. But they're all leaving each other room. They're racing really hard, but leaving great room. No touching. Just fantastic. These boys would all have grins from ear to ear.
So close. We'll get one more lap, I think. We're just having a look
Maybe
now.
not Rob.
Yeah.
Maybe not Rob Bowden. He'll be really dirty at that. But Rob's driven fantastic racing. He shouldn't be upset from still being in the top 5. Top 5 in a class field like this.
Yeah, that's it. Race leader coming around to the back straightaway. He'll get the white flag at the end of this lap. And 1 to go for this round number 7 of season 12 of F3A's Euro Series here, thanks to Racecraft Simulations. There's a shot of the white flag coming out for Bailey Evans. They crossed the line there to start the final lap.
Kill that mosquito. Kill that mosquito.
Jack Maripete too as well, so he should be able to stay there now, which is great championship points for him. And Josh Fitt should hold on to 3rd. We've got some good battles going on. Here's a wheel-to-wheel between Bowden and Lillis for P4.
He's still fighting for that 4th place lap. He's fighting all the way to the flag. Bailey Evans has been superb tonight. Really hasn't put a foot wrong. Driven brilliantly. He really has deserved this win.
He has, and here he is onto the back straightaway. Couple of corners to go for him to take a great win tonight, and very well deserved. He's got a really fast lap time. He's done a 58 tonight. I think he might be the only one that's actually dipped into the 58s, and he's going to take a checker flag and a beautiful victory for his team once again tonight. Simrigs, we're happy with that, and Jack Maripete too. Congratulations, only a second off. Josh Fitt will take P3. Bowden.
Rob, hold on to the 4th place.
He got it, yeah. He got it. He must be exhausted after that. He's had to fight for 48 laps to get that done, and Lillis comes home 5th.
Mazoka there in 6th. What a great drive too. We saw some really nice racecraft from Anthony during that race, and I think he really earned that 6th place.
From the back of the pack too. 23 positions he made up tonight into P6. Great job.
Superb. He's my driver of the night.
Yeah, great. He's incredible as we see them bunch up here and head back around to come and then have a chat with us. So we'll get some results up as soon as iRacing makes them available for us, and call through the results with the top 3 coming in for a chat shortly, so don't go anywhere. But mate, like I said, gold always turns it on, doesn't it? Great.
Gold really is a class act, isn't it? It's 40 of the fastest guys out there. They're all at it, hammer and tongs. But you saw the quality of the racing where they give each other room. They're really hard and fast. There's a little bit of wheel to wheel. There occasionally is a little touch, but they're very respectful of each other, and that's what makes the racing so good. And seriously, that's a product too of FRG and the way they run this series. They are so controlled. They're not nasty. They're not bullying. It's an educational process where they try and educate all the drivers how to make everybody enjoy what they do even more. And sometimes that's a bit of tough love, but you see it. There's not another series out there with the quality of racing this has got. In the top 40, you got 40 guys, nearly less than a second between them in qualifying, and that sort of racing. Fantastic stuff.
Yep, here's your race leader, Bailey Evans, ripping it up here in celebration of a victory, as we saw the results up on the screen a minute ago. Bailey Evans, Jack Mara and Josh Fitt, will have them in shortly for a chat. as we wrap things up for round number 7. Next week we are off to Hockenheim, I think it is. That's another one of my favourite tracks. So looking forward to that.
It's the outer, so that it uses only one of the infield sections, so it's a little bit quicker. We should see a bit more overtaking and possibly a bit more slipstreaming there. So
that will be mega. So we just wait for Bailey to come in for a chat, and Jack as well. They're still just out there burning rubber, so they might be a little while. This is what they love to do, make a good bit of a mess of the pit straight.
Yep.
Just while we're waiting for them, once again, that code word for tonight is KIPPERS. Make sure you get that in and enter that VRS competition. Win yourself a $99 package. We'll be drawing that in 4 weeks' time, so get onto that. John was the last person to enter his name, so well done, John. And so yeah, there's 2 more weeks of fact we can enter the code word, then the final week's obviously when we draw it. So time is running out if you want to get involved in that. But let's bring in our race winner, Bailey Evans. Congratulations, mate. Fantastic job.
Thanks, man. Very sweaty with Jack behind me, but I'm ecstatic with that.
Good job, mate. You look really comfortable out there. Obviously taking it from pole position to a win. That last safety car, were you a little bit nervous on the restart? Like I said, it looked like you had it in control.
Yeah, for sure. That's probably the worst thing that could have happened to me. Yeah, I sort of bottled it out of the last corner, to be honest, but Jack we got near, but I had some sketchy moments, but in the end, pulled it through.
And obviously, mate, with the championship points closing right up, now you're P3 coming into this round. That's going to help you just move up slightly. You've still got a bit to track down Jack, who's got second tonight, but it will leap you ahead of Benjamin Roberts, who's once again not here tonight. So for the championship, that'll move you up into P2, and that's pretty exciting.
Yeah, for sure. I think teams, it was looking pretty good as well, so see how it plays out in the last 3 races.
For sure, yeah. Simrig sitting on top of the championship ahead of Tanked SRT and W Area 51. So well done. Let's go to Jack, P2, mate, and leading the championship. You got to be happy with that, and congratulations on P2.
Cheers, mate. Happy days. Bailey, you're very quick today, so not a lot we can do about that. GG's to him. Could have got a bit closer there, but I made a few mistakes. So it is what it is. But yeah, we'll take the P2.
Fantastic, man. Josh, P3 as well. You did a good job tonight. Congratulations.
Thank you very much. It's always fun racing at the front of the pack. Didn't have the race pace of the 2 fellas at the front. They were way too good for me. But yeah, always fun fighting for the last place in the podium with Rob there. A bit of respect shown to those last couple of laps side by side. So you got to love that. Yeah, had a good race, so can't complain.
Mate, we watched you, I don't know, it must have been a sequence of 10 corners side by side. Incredible to watch.
Yeah, it's always good to race with somebody that you can trust alongside you that you know is going to race pretty clean. Makes it a lot more fun out there. But yeah, thoroughly enjoyed that for sure. Got a bit hot in the end, but well worth it.
Great job. Let's do some thank yous. Unless Dave, you want to ask the boys any questions?
No, I'm good. I thought you did a fantastic job, boys. Really, really good racing. Really hard, sort of fair. Everybody giving each other room. Really nice to see.
Fantastic. Let's do some thank yous. Bailey, starting with you. With who would you like to thank? Sponsors and the likes.
Big thanks to Race Stars TV. Put on an awesome show. Rue and his team, just unbelievable what they put on. It's great to race every week. And I thank team sponsors, simrigs.com, Southwell Liston Hoist, Benmex Mechanical, Phoenix Smokers, MP Designs.
Great drive tonight, Bailey Evans, P1. Thanks, mate. Jack Mara, P2. Who would you like to thank?
Righto. Big thanks to Luke, yourself, and Dave in the booth. Love your work. Love watching it back. Loving all the praise you give me. It's awesome. I just bathe in it. Then huge shout to Lockie, Ty, and Rue in the stewards box. A lot of hard work. I've kind of watched the stream, and it's a great bit of entertainment actually watching the reviews there. So keep that up. Big fan. And yeah, can't go without saying Snackachangy chips, keeping me nice and fat, nice and round, keeping that centre of gravity nice and low in the race car.
Very good, mate. Well, congratulations. We love you up there, and you're doing great. So leading the championship, Jack Mara, thanks, P2 tonight. And then finally, Josh Fitt, P3 for the simrigs.com DPR car. Congratulations. Who would you like to thank?
Thank you very much. Firstly, I'd like to thank you guys, Race Stars, for putting on a stellar broadcast as always. Secondly, love to thank our major sponsors, simrigs.com, Sapphire Lifts and Hoist, Ben Max Mechanical, Phoenix Smokers, NP Designs, and a special shout out to the Team Red and Team Black DPR Simrigs teams for the practice we do throughout the week and the enjoyment we have each night. It's fantastic to race with those fellas, so thank you to them.
Great job. Well, that's your top three tonight. Bailey Evans with a win, Jack Maripy and Josh Fitt running at your top three. Thanks, guys. Thanks for coming in for a chat.
Thanks, fellas.
Thanks, Luke.
Good job. And we'll throw it to Rue now, who was over in race control. The one safety car tonight made the end very, very exciting. And we've got 3 rounds to go next week off to Hockenheim. Looking forward to that. Hello, Rue. He's not listening.
Oh, we're in. We're in. Yes, Hockenheim, the outer ring, mainly because Dave hates that little couple of corners on the inside, so he likes to see that not there, which is great because we can run the medium force and there's going to be a lot of draft battles, so that should be quite exciting. And it's Sim Rigs. They're pretty strong, aren't they? DPR. They're kind of running away with it.
Yeah, they're looking good out in front, and without Roberts in the mix as well. I mean, it would have been great to see Roberts go up against Bailey, Jack, and Josh tonight. It would have been really interesting to see where it all fitted in the mix.
Yeah, and I mean, Benny was so strong last season, and he's still strong this season. But you look at like Jack Marin, Mr. Consistency. Like even if Benny's sometimes up and down, he's 1 then he's 6, and Jack's just like thumping in those podiums. So I would have liked to have seen how it all panned out with Benny there, but. It is how it is, and it's still really exciting, so I'm looking forward to it.
Well, we got to thank our great sponsors, Lovely Stickers, of course, and VRS with that competition tonight. The word KIPPERS, make sure you get that. KIPPERS, get that word in there and join up before the end of the broadcast. You've got 2 more weeks after this to get your name in for that final draw on the final round, round 10. And a big thanks to Lovely Stickers, of course. If you want to use their code word, it's lovely. Oh, I'm gonna F3A lovely. There it is up on your screen right now.
So lovely.
10% off. That's great. And a big thanks to Racekraft, of course. We've shown their rig a few times tonight. It's a mega rig and mega product that they bring out and sponsor this series with. So thanks to Racekraft. Anything you want to add, Rue or Dave, before we round it out for the night?
Yeah, another one for Racekraft. They're a mega company. I mean, look at them. We're all racing because of them. So we can't thank them enough. But rounding it off, I reckon we're going to get a close one this season. I reckon it's going to come down to the wire. I reckon it's going to come down to the last race. So I'm looking well forward to it.
We did see the boys at Racecraft had the state premiere in their place yesterday or today, and on the news and Channel 7 and Channel 9, and that's great. They're bringing a little bit of focus to what we love and do to the general public too. So congrats, boys, on the coverage.
Fantastic. Well, we've got to wrap it up for tonight. Round number 7 is done and dusted. Thanks for everyone that tuned in and watched, and a big thanks to the sponsors, but a big thanks also to Rue, the crew, and Dave Roberts joining me in the booth again. Absolute legend. Makes this a pleasure to do. So thanks, Dave.
Thank you, Luke. It's always a pleasure to be here with you, and it's nice to be back.
Thanks, mate. Yeah, and I'm slurring my words, which means it's past my bedtime and time for sleep. So thanks, Rue. Thanks, Dave. I'm going to bail, but we'll see you all same time, same place next week. Don't forget tomorrow night too. We've got the Pro Invitational Series on Race Stars TV doing production, so that'll be back on, and you'll see the best V8 supercar drivers in Australia go up against each other right here on our channel. So until then, take care, guys. We'll see you soon.
See you then.
Yeah, mate.
Cheers.